Well, welcome everybody to week 5 of the Formula G competition series. I'm Zotomo, and I'm joined as always by Calamity. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Yeah, we were in your home country of Austria this week, Calamity, so we'll get to see if that made any difference for you or not when we watch your round for this. But how are you feeling about watching these videos in your home country? Are you excited?
A bit, maybe. I've seen enough of Austria. I mean, it's not that exciting, but yeah, we'll see.
Well, thank you for that tourism ad right there. The not too exciting country of Austria. So I'm sure lots of people are going to head over there now after that wonderful advertisement. So yeah. We've got 5 competitors today, as always. I think most of them should be returning faces, but this might be the first video of Tall we have.
I'm not entirely sure. I think we've had one before,
Maybe
but
one.
yeah, I'm not 100%.
But yeah, anyways, with that, let us jump right in to round 1 with Mr. Blue. Yeah, here we go. Starting right outside of, looks like a little shopping mall.
It's a sort of a shopping area where you've got a few different bigger shops that you can buy stuff, like you usually can with shops.
Yeah.
He's thoroughly investigating all these shops, and then he sees the big sign.
Yeah, that's the sign that you really want, is he still reads the fitness wellness pool sign. Yeah. I'll let you do all the German pronunciation today so I don't butcher it too bad. But
Yeah, the sign tells him he's near Wien, which is just a German word for Vienna. And to the north of him is Klosterneuburg, which, well, is just slightly to the north of Vienna. So that should already tell him he's somewhere very close between the two. And, well, it's not a lot of distance there. So probably at this point, and he also sees he's near the 14. So you can probably narrow it down pretty well.
yeah, and we've also got that roundabout, which is really good for pinpointing. So roundabouts stand out. So I'll be looking for that. And then not to mention, he does have all of those point of interest, which he seems to have been able to find. All those stores do show up.
There's lots of weird roundabouts here.
Yeah, that did get me in this round. Was I think there's 2 or 3 roundabouts, and I had a little bit of a difficult time figuring out which one exactly it was. But I think I just found the road too far north, and so I was looking at the wrong roundabout, and I was like, wait a minute, none of the stores are here. So he will guess. There we go. Pretty straightforward round for round number 1. Mr. Blue not going to drop points in a location like that. 5,000 for him. Yeah. Very nice. Yeah, we have you, Calamity, as always, of course, and Wickholm, Close 24/7, and Tall Impala as the other 4 contestants this week. So how did you all do in round 1?
And not only us 5, but everyone except for one person who's, do you guess the name? I can't really link with a Reddit name right now. Got 5,000 points on that one. Most of them even in relatively short time. The only one who took even the full 5 minutes was Orpheus.
Yeah. Yeah, I was about to say, I think Mr. Blue did it, as I went back and checked his time, in under 2 minutes. So
yeah, there were,
pretty quick.
I think there were 6 people who did it under 2 minutes. Well, one of them was Ben, so 5 people who are actually competing.
Yeah. Very nice. Yeah, pretty straightforward round. Lots of points of interest and road signs, cities, whatnot. Leads everyone to a 5K. So Austria is starting off on a very nice foot. Let's see if that can continue in round 2 as we jump right to you, Calamity.
Yeah, for round 1, we didn't even necessarily have to move to get to the right location. For this one, it's a bit different. Starting out on a massive highway.
Yeah, which I assume is the Austrian Autobahn.
Yes. One of them. There's more than just one.
Well, yeah, Autobahn network, you might want to say, I guess.
You could if you really wanted to.
I mean, like, do you say that in Austria? Like in America, we say the interstate network or system or something, but
We don't
You
really.
just say Autobahn, or do you say Autobahn something?
Yeah, we just say Autobahn.
Mm.
Or the plural form of it, if we want to talk about more of them. At least we do here. I don't know how the people over in sort of, I don't know, Tyrol talk about it.
Okay. So the good thing about highways is, as we get a little bit of a buffer, is that you'll find lots of good signs for exits, which are nice for pinpointing.
Yep.
The bad thing about it is
Everything
you often
else.
can't, you can't see anything else around yourself, because a lot of times the highways have walls are on them, or they are just kind of high up above things, which make them hard to figure out what's around you. So we are on the A2 heading east to Wien, and about a minute and a half in,
Still,
like we're looking for that exit.
still sort of seeing where exactly the A2, like how far it extends. I found it near, or in Carinthia, but I didn't find any of the smaller cities that are on the signs that are currently blocked by my map there. So I was just looking if it goes any further west, but it doesn't. So now I'm checking to the east of it, and there we go. There's Glasgow.
There's the smaller towns. Along the way, now comes the pinpointing with just over 2 minutes played. Yeah, and this is going to be the time killer here. So remember that the drivers do get bonus points for a perfect game if they are the fastest of all the competitors. So while getting 5K is important, doing it as fast as you can is not something to overlook either.
So what I'm doing here right now is I know which sort of exit is to the east, but I couldn't really find that. So now I'm looking at which exit is to the west of me. That's that one.
Exit numbers usually do show up on the map, so those are always nice. Yeah, for me it was this, like, which little curve are we in here? It's kind of a back and forth road, which means it's hard to pinpoint a little bit.
I don't know what I'm doing there.
Don't know what you're doing either. 3 minutes gone into the final 2.
Yeah, I think I'm just double checking that is actually the right exit, because it might like be named slightly differently on the map than what it is there on the sign. But I'm just guessing at this point. Oh yeah, there is no exit name here for this exit, so I'm just confirming that the little towns that I mentioned on it are actually at this exit and not at any other one.
Yeah, and one thing you zipped right past is there is a small side road near the spawn location. As you go back and see, we can catch that on the right there, which will give a little bit of help in pinpointing as you move your marker there. But this thing can be a little bit tricky.
Yep. Because it looks like we're just like slightly after the entrance to the round to the side road actually. So I don't know why I guessed before it, but still it was quite a bit further after the side road, which I didn't think.
Yeah, you kind of got to love Google's pinpoint pin placement sometimes, because the image did not match up with where that pin seemed to be, unless the road was a lot wider than it is on the map.
Yeah, I don't.
So
in this case,
tricky,
I don't even think it was the pin placement that was weird, and more that it was the way the side road is drawn, because the side road sort of starts way earlier than you would think. So it looks a bit weird on the map.
Okay.
Because if you, I don't know if you can rewind by like a couple seconds to where I get a full look at the side road. Yeah, that's fine. Just bit sort of where you
further back. Okay.
No, just where you clicked was fine. Then you started the video and it wasn't fine anymore.
Gotta love that. There we go.
No, I'll tell you when to pause. Pause. Nope,
Okay,
that was too late.
there's a little bit of delay, the fact that we're on opposite ends of the world doing this, but yeah.
Just go to
I
558.
wish there was a way to type this in 555.
558.
8. Can
Yeah, this is
perfect.
fine.
There we go.
So you can see there where the black bit to the left of the road starts, all the way back there is where the road actually starts on Google Maps. Well, when you look at this, you'd think that that's not really where the road starts, is it? So that's kind of the confusing part there.
Yeah, and if we kind of jump forward to your guess, you can see that the road looks to have a shallower angle coming off of that highway. And in Google, it's very sharp. It's almost a 45-degree turn.
Yeah.
That doesn't really look like that at all. So that can be tricky. And given the fact that it is Austria, those meters definitely play a factor in there, for sure. You were only 33 meters off, I think, and you still lost 3 points. So
Yep.
you have to be very, very accurate to not lose any points at all. We can see right there above you that Max FI did not lose any points. But how did the other 4 drivers do?
Yeah, this round there was only 4 drivers in total who didn't lose any points, which should give you another idea of how difficult that was to pinpoint, because it obviously wasn't that difficult to find in the first place. Out of the ones that we've got, Tall Impala was the only one who got a perfect score there. Closed losing a similar amount to me, lost 1 point more, just being slightly further west. And Mr. Blue and M. Wickholm guessed, apparently, they guessed in the exact same spot at a different side road just 2 kilometers down the road.
Oh, they found a different side road and misjudged their location. That's a little bit rough. Yeah,
Maybe a bit too hasty on their part, because they both still had some time left. Mr. Blue had almost 2 minutes, and Wickholm still had almost a minute left. So they could have looked at the road direction where they started, because that doesn't quite match up with where they guessed.
Okay, well, that means there's very few people still up for that bonus points at the end of the game. So we'll go on to round 3 to M. Wickholm, who we already know is dropping some points. But let's see how he fares in round 3. And we get a very rural location for this one. So.
A location I enjoy quite a bit more than highway.
Yeah, very nice. But we do have some very nice signs near the spawn, as well as what looks like to be a sausage restaurant. How typical German, or Germanic rather.
Okay, yeah, I was about to correct you.
There we go. So there's a few city names, it looks like.
None of those are city names, but yeah, that one is.
That one is, yeah. Okay. Tarsdorf, the small little village. When we can find it, will be another story.
Usually those green signs that you see all around have nothing to do with city names. They're mostly either stuff like businesses, or if they're really small and have a lot of numbers, then they're usually street names and house numbers alongside them. So
green and white kind of locations, and white and black cities for Austria. Yeah, sort of white and a blue border around it is probably the easiest way to remember it. Yeah, and one thing here really interesting on Austria signs, you see that D next to Tippmoning means it's a German city. So we are somewhere on the border, which M. Wickholm has or was searching for. So now he's going to try to figure out what road he might be on. Maybe he'll take another look at that. He did find Torsdorf. So, well done. Now it's all about pinpointing. Now it's all about pinpointing again. So, he's looking for Erwin's Metzgerei. I couldn't see what the rest of it was. It's pretty much a butcher, I'd say. I mean, not quite, but you know, a butcher does is the person who does the thing, and Metzgerei is basically the thing that sells it. So it can be both included in one, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. That's interesting. Makes it hard to translate because in English you just say butcher for both. Yeah. guess you have like a meat shop, but that's really not very good English. It might, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem you have quite a bit if you try to translate German words into English, because you have a lot of compound words as well that don't necessarily have a one-to-one translation a lot of the time. But what he's seen there a lot is signs towards this specific. It's not really a restaurant. It's sort of a combination between a restaurant and a hotel. So now he just has to figure out how far down the road that is, or he is.
Yeah, this is very interesting indeed. Over 3 minutes gone now. He'll be trying to make up a few of those points he lost in round 2. With a good placement here. He's looking like he's on it. He should be within enough distance, and you should buy GeoGuessr Pro as well for only €2 a month, so you don't have to wait in between rounds to find your score out.
I've missed this.
There we go. Yeah, you have a pro account now, so you don't have to worry about it. Just off 4,998 points. Very, very tricky for him. For anybody, it looks like only one person, Darwin. I don't remember who that is.
2 people, actually. Got 5,000 points. One person is still on for a perfect score, you're right.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. But yes, 2 people getting a perfect score. Again, another location, really easy to find the area, but really hard to pinpoint, Calamity.
Yeah, I definitely don't blame anyone if they miss points here. Especially because you just can't really tell that well how far away things are if you're that far zoomed into the map. Probably the best thing here is that the road is still curved, so you can sort of use the curvature there to get closer. Yeah, but it's still difficult.
Well, how did the other 4 drivers do on this round, Calamity?
Pretty good, actually. Closed and Mr. Blue getting a perfect score there. And Tall Impala lost 2 points, and I lost 4 points.
Again, just a little bit difficult, costing just single points here and there, but enough to drop you quite a ways down the table, if you remember from our Formula G show, how competitive this competition is. Every point matters for sure. Okay, well, into round number 4, closed is German, not Austrian, but we'll see if the language helps them out any. In round number 4, closed currently is number 1 in Formula G, so he is our leader. As we see an exit sign for a umlauts, good grief. Mater.
Mater, yeah.
Mater.
You pretty much had the pronunciation of the E right, but you still pronounced it in English.
Did I?
Yeah, you said Mater.
The Mater?
No, it is Mater.
Oh,
but you said Mater.
Oh, okay, that was my ER that was wrong. I was so worried about the umlaut that I didn't think about the rest of the word.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, when I was studying German, that was always the thing. Like, oh, God, remember how to say those umlauts. And then, yeah. But there are very good signs again. Innsbruck. Bergrens.
Bregenz, yeah. 2 of the...
Gotzig.
Götzis. Yeah, those are 2 of the state capitals here.
Way to the west of Austria.
Yep.
So we are probably really close to the Swiss border here.
Most of the other cities probably not that famous. Altach for people who sort of follow Austrian football, maybe one of the locations that you might know.
Very nice. So now that he's found some of those towns and villages along the Swiss border, trying to pinpoint exactly where he might be. Another roundabout will help him with that for sure. But already almost 2 minutes gone. Now he doesn't have a perfect score, so he's not really worried about time anymore. But every point does matter, so he will take his time. Oh, there's the FC, local football club.
Mm.
Do you know what division they're in?
I've never heard of them. Let me check.
As I hear you typing away.
Whew. Pretty low down, that's for sure. They're in something called Dritte Landesklasse, which I assume is the 6th tier.
Mm.
The problem is in Austria, once it gets further down than the 4th tier, it all gets really confusing and state specific.
I see.
So yeah, it's not easy to tell sometimes what sort of tier that actually is.
So he's kind of zooming in and out. He's got 2 street names. He knows where he is now. Oh, he should have just found that road. And sure enough, he'll go back to the start to read the road name he is on to confirm his location. That should be it, right in front of that first house. Or maybe slightly to the back of it.
Mm.
See how much time he spends on that, but that should be close enough for a 5K on any map. And sure enough,
Yep.
An ace for close there, showing us why he is number 1 in Formula G as of right now. Only dropping 4 points after 4 rounds, so not bad at all, Calamity.
Pretty good. Not one of the harder rounds, with all of the, big cities around there. But yeah, you still have to get it right at the end. But so did pretty much everyone else.
Yeah. So how did everybody else do on that one?
Yep. 5Ks all around for the top 17. And just 2 people, I think they're dropping a few points. But not even those people got within like a kilometer or 2.
Yeah. It wasn't me. I got a 5K on this
Yep.
one. So, yeah. I was used in this round. My second number 2 driver on my team did not compete, so my score was used. But it was very competitive, so I was still way down the list, unfortunately. So, anyway, let's see how everything finishes with Talampala in round number 5 for us here. And oh boy, another highway location, which will mean we're going to end on a very interesting note.
Yep.
Here. But some very good signs already right at the beginning. Interchange between A1 and A10 near Salzburg. 2 kilometers away. Why is it 2,000 meters?
Because there's going to be another sign that's going to be like 1,500 meters. Or in this case, 1,000 meters. I don't really know
again,
why. This
why?
I think it's just there's going to be a sign that's going to say 500 meters further down the road. So they just want to have it consistent.
Okay. Lots of good intersections, and München also on the map there, if I can try to pronounce it with the correct phonics, but
München.
München, yeah. I lived in Prussia. I didn't live in Bavaria. So
So that's your excuse.
that's my excuse. I learned a little bit of Prussian German, not Bavarian German. So that's my excuse. And that was like 10 years ago, so that's also my excuse. Yeah, lots of good exits and road signs. So.
It's always great when you see a sign on the highway that tells you the 3 biggest cities in Austria are all in sort of that direction. They're all in completely different places, but you'll figure it out, right?
Yeah. It's the joy of small countries, like where the capital is on every sign, no matter where you go. It's like the capital's that way, and you're like, yeah, I know that. But yeah. So Talampala already losing 2 points. So he will be looking to use all his time so he doesn't lose any more. So he's doing his due diligence here, following that exit. Trying to figure out exactly where he is. I think he's traveling further than most people would probably travel to find this one, but...
He's also, I think, at this point, I don't know if he's exited the highway or if he's currently just going from one highway to another.
Yeah. Well, I think he's taking the exit, the interchange. So, and he has an exit number right there, 297. So that's where he's in that general area for sure. He'll have to work his way backward to the starting location. So, and this is a perfect example of when those sound dampening walls block you from seeing anything really outside of the highway.
Yep.
So
it can be very, very boring traveling along highways in Austria.
But as you can see, and what several drivers used, is these overpasses can help you judge some distances here. There's 2 of them close together. They can be helpful. That's about all you've got to work with, is you can try to read. There we go.
Yep, there's a company.
Tall building. That'll be very helpful if you can find it.
Yeah.
And sure enough, there it is. Slightly south of his starting location. But again, nothing at the actual spawn point to really work with.
There's what a few people have mentioned to me in the comments as well. There were these differently colored walls there. And a lot of people took that as sort of an underpass going through it. I wouldn't really trust that 100% of the time, but it certainly worked out this time.
Yeah, because we were pretty close. Tall Impala, though, unfortunately 15 meters off, just far enough away to lose a single point. So he'll lose 3 points total from that round, finishing with a total score of 24,997 points. Very nice. How did everybody else fare, Calamity, overall, and in that final round?
Yep. Just one person getting a perfect score overall, which was Jack. So he managed to keep it going from the last couple of rounds where we already saw like he was the last one standing. Apart from Sol and Impala, 2 points lost for Closed. He was just slightly further west than him. 11 points lost for me. 74 points lost for Mr. Blue, who is a bit further down the road to the east. And about 700 points lost for M. Wickholm, who was on the wrong side of Salzburg.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, a pretty good spread, if you can see on the screen right now, of where all those locations were in this seed. Right outside of Vienna, near Graz, Salzburg, German border, as well as way in the west near Switzerland. So a pretty good diverse selection.
Pretty good.
Two highways is kind of rough. But...
Yeah, pretty good spread, but nothing in the middle of the country.
Yeah, so we got to see the border of Austria a lot. We have no idea what the interior of Austria looks like, which is where you live, sort of.
Yep.
But unfortunately, nothing near your hometown, so I couldn't use any of that knowledge to help you out there.
I don't think I've been closer than sort of 40 minutes away by car than to my hometown yet in GeoGuessr.
Yeah, when I play Austria, I usually do get kind of where we were in this one, though. You get around Vienna near Linz or Salzburg, down near Graz, or way west. I guess maybe it's just the number of roads make it mathematically more likely. So
yeah, there's sort of
not bad overall.
Yeah, there's a big hole in coverage in the middle of Austria. Can you see that? Yeah, you can on the map. Sort of halfway between Leoben and Amstetten. There's a big hole there where there's no coverage.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't realize that there's none of these roads are even covered.
Yep.
Okay, right. Well, that's a good clue for your next game in Austria. Don't bother looking in this little hole here. There's not much coverage, if any, to worry about. So, very nice. Yeah, well, that'll do it for us this week. Compared to last time in Brazil, the score is much higher. I think the top 10 all were 24-9 something.
Yep, 24-9-80
so.
for 10th place.
Yeah, so hardly any points dropped, which made it very, very competitive. If you want to know how everybody did and what that means for the total standings in Formula G, head over to that YouTube channel and watch the other show, our Formula G show, where we cover how everybody did in both the feature race as well as the sprint race, which took place in Graz, which was very fun indeed for some of us who had no time. But yeah, I'll leave it for that video to do the rest of the talking about that, and we'll see you next time. Take care.
Bye.